Hi everyone, can you hear me? Yeah, feel free to use the chat to respond. I'm waiting for the panelists to join. This is Glenn joining. Hi everyone, welcome to this session. Let me start with sharing my screen. Okay. All right. All right. So wonderful to have such a great audience today. We have people from all walks of life, and many of yeah from various different countries. The 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 topic of the webinar is the how to get the instant predictive analytics on your own data. So essentially, the core idea is that how can you automatically generate the predictive analytics on your data. So Turno does exactly that. So we'll be walking through Turno and we'll walk you through like how it works and how can you build your own reports on your own data, right? So, and we'll also talk about, right, various use cases. We dig deeper into the use cases. I am Sandeep Giri. I am founder of Turno AI. And with me are Rohan, Glenn, Tejveer, and Gajendra. Rohan will be demonstrating how to do the forecasting of the sales. And then Glenn will be demonstrating the product recommendation system that he built using Turno AI. And Tejveer will be talking about customer retention analytics, how he was able to achieve the, the analytics on customer retention using Terno. And Gajender will be talking about the customer segmentation uh, based on the sales data. All right. So what exactly is this is briefly the agenda. We'll talk briefly about how it works, what Turno is and how it works. And then we'll also talk about the various case studies. Feel free to ask questions at any point of time. Let me check if right. Okay. If there are any questions. So far, there are no questions. And there's one question related to, is the recording of the session made available later? Um, this recording, yes, will be put on our YouTube channel. Okay. And we will also send you an email. But yeah, don't drop from the call just because of that. Utilize this call to get answers to your questions. Okay. Also, yes. All right. Next, okay, all right, all right. Just give me a moment. I'll make my teammates as, okay, so that they can answer questions in the chat. All right. A question from D is, I thought there would be a local model which could help here without using Turno AI. Is this possible? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Okay, very soon we'll talk about it. And so the reason why people use the local model is because they want to do the analytics on their own local data. So we'll talk about how you can achieve that, using Turno AI. Okay. All right. Any questions? Any other questions before we begin? So what exactly is Turno AI? I hope you guys can hear me. All right.
Yes, you're audible, Sandeep.
Okay, okay, just give me a second. Okay, so what exactly is Turno AI? Turno AI is your AI data scientist. It essentially behaves like a data scientist, and I mean, you can ask it questions, you can give it a task to do, it'll do all of that. It automates the data extraction, processing, analysis, visualization, and model development. It is based on the task, the agent delivers results, right? So whatever is your task, whatever is your ask, whatever question that you're asking, based on that, the agent delivers result that could be in the form of tables, charts, graphics, or it could be text, PDF, images, or even creating custom files, such as you can ask it to write a code and it build an app. So you can easily share the results with your team or schedule them to be delivered via email. So basically, whatever results you get, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a whole conversation, the graphs, you can ask it to share the results with your team, right? And you can basically, right, whatever the intermediate resources are there, whether they're data sets, models, that can be used by your entire team once that has been built. Also, it it is kind of really intelligent in the sense that when you interact with it, when you tell it once about your data, it learns from that. So it learns with you, and all of that knowledge stays inside your organization. So the way it works is that the user whether uploads a file or gives along with the question, you can you can ask it a question that here is my file in the form of CSV, and it can ask that, it can answer that. So you can attach you can attach the file to the question, and then that. On top of it, you on the other hand, you have your data sources, such as the data sources could be data lakes, CRMs, ERPs, MCPs. Like there are ERPs, enterprise resource planning software such as Odoo, SAP, CRM software such as Salesforce, and so on. And then there are these MCPs. The MCPs are almost every organization has now, every software, whether it's Shopify or anything, they all have provided their MCPs. So you can connect the MCP of Shopify to Turno, and then when you ask it a question that how many orders have been shipped, which were how many on an average, how many delay has been in shipping of my order, you basically can ask it to generate that kind of report, and so on. Or you can essentially build a model whereby you can detect how many of the orders are fake or they're going to be refunded versus not to be refunded. So those kind of analytics, those kind of models you can build using Turno. So user asks a question, goes to Turno. Turno writes code and writes SQL, and then talks to the data. So Turno launches the code near to the data. Instead of you uploading the data to Turno, the Turno writes the code and sends that to be executed near the data. Because like the way it happens in case of ChatGPT, where you attach the data files to send to ChatGPT and you get the results. That's not the way that's possible if your database is big enough. You cannot afford, the organizations cannot afford to send their data to ChatGPT or any other LLM. Therefore, Turno writes code, writes the logic, and executes it near the data. And then once the Turno gets the results, it presents that to end user. Okay, so essentially Turno does everything for you, whether it's a Unix command it needs to do, it needs to write SQLs, it needs to write Python code. It does everything, starting from Python code, SQL, Linux command, everything it does for you to get the results what you're looking for. This is briefly how Turno works. So either like usually what people organizations do is before starting with Turno, they connect all their data sources, and then user asks a question, it basically starts doing that. And it keeps learning from your data, from its own failures. It keeps learning on the data. It learns from its failures, it learns from its successes, it learns from users' questions, it learns from the data that you have in your organization, and it keeps on becoming smarter and smarter. And you can also explicitly teach the tribal knowledge to Turno, saying that this was my old report. Can you learn from it? So it'll learn and figure out the local or expert knowledge of your organization from your past history. So this is briefly how it works. Now, many of you might be asking, how is it different from ChatGPT? Because the moment you see, okay, so so if you take a look at Terno, if you go to Turno.ai, everyone, you can go to Turno.ai, click on try now, and basically it'll ask you to fill a small form. Fill the form genuinely so that we can fine tune your experience, and then wait for the approval. So my team will approve, and once you get that, by default, we create one organization for you. You can create as many organizations as you want. For every organization, you have a separate URL, right? The design is from the perspective of like everybody might have different organizations. They might be working for multiple organizations because people are consultants. They have different installations and so on. And they want to also separate the data from one from another. Like, for example, we have created a demo data set, the demo org, so demo.app.turno. So this is the hosted version. If you are in an organization, you can install Terno locally. We are also releasing a desktop version whereby you don't need to upload or connect your data to Terno. Instead, it will be local to you. Okay, so right now here we have connected these data sources. You can connect all your data sources, whether Databricks, Snowflake, Oracle, MySQL, BigQuery, Postgres, and so on. And you can just connect all of them. Like we have already connected Odoo ERP and Global Data and Demo SQL. And now you can start doing the analytics. So now here, these are the predefined queries we have done. Okay, these are the predefined queries where you can see it. When you sign up, these databases by default we attach, and then we can start asking questions. You can start asking questions such as find all customers who made more than one purchase in last 3 months. For each, list total revenue, number of orders, salesperson, and last order date, present it as customer loyalty report, and so on. So you can see that it is basically uh, basically this will basically give you details about everything. Okay, so and here, like here, basically we have, right? So it has generated the detailed report. If you see, this is the customer loyalty report. It has generated for me. Okay, and so on. All right. So you can essentially get it rolling. All right. So this is the one. Now, moving on, moving on. Let's go back here. Okay. So essentially, also on top of it, basically the way it works is that you can also do things like this, right? I wanted to extract images from my PDF file, so I gave it my PDF. It basically extracted the image. Okay, that's my passport. Okay, I'm just skipping over it, but yes, it does all of that. Okay, so I use it for all sorts of tasks, right? Like for example, here I asked it analyze leads and won deals by campaign and so on. It has done the decent job of preparing that analysis report. Okay, so it is doing all of that. You can see here. So revenue per lead is this much, right? This is the source, like from newsletter we got this much revenue. Without the source we got this much revenue. Search engine we got this much revenue, and like that. So it does detailed analytics for you. You can connect all sources of your data, whether it's Google Analytics, whether it's CRMs, whether it's ads account. So from everywhere you can connect and then ask it to give you the detailed analytics. Okay, not only the normal analytics, you can also do the predictive analytics. Now, with this, let's move on to the next question, that how is it different from ChatGPT? The difference lies in this diagram. Okay, difference lies in this diagram. Here, Basically, if you go to ChatGPT, you will have to upload all of your data to ChatGPT or any other LLM for that matter, and then you'll get result. In case of Turno, Turno will connect, Turno will write code and run it on your data, okay? So that you don't have to upload data to Turno, okay? Now, that also means that Turno makes sure that it doesn't send your data to any LLM. Instead, it only needs to look at your metadata, the information on the data. Further, what Turno can do is, let's say you have really confidential data and you don't want to share it with any LLM. What you can do is Turno can build an app for the analytics on your dummy data, and then you can deploy it in production on your real data. So the app does not access any LLM. Instead, app is just like an app. All right. So it follows that model. Now, moving on. All right. Yeah, Turno AI is an agent. It does everything. It's the upper end of the agent, whereby it uses something called a chain of thought processing. Chain of thought means it takes your question, breaks it down into intermediate tasks. Then for each task, it writes code, it writes SQL, it uses search engine, it uses all sorts of techniques. If it needs to use third-party tool, such as let's say it needs to do OpenCV or any machine learning model or AI, it'll download those, install those, use that library to get that work done. It could be maybe you need to process video, so it'll install the video processing library. Maybe you need to process the images, so it'll install the image processing library. Maybe you need to use the scheduler, and the scheduler algorithms are like the public algorithms, it'll download and start using. So it'll basically download and install all the libraries that are needed, let's say audio processing, image synthesis, voice synthesis. It'll basically install those libraries and get the work done. Similarly, if you need to, let's say, prepare the presentation in PDF, it will install the PDF library and get that done. Okay. All right. So, okay. So basically, it is exactly like a data scientist. Okay. Now, GPT or plain LLMs, none of them have built-in ability to connect your data, understanding your database, the way Turno does. It also, Turno provides something called a security layer, which can be used to protect your database and to provide the authorization on top of the existing rules. So, all right. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much. Let me take some questions. Is there any question? Question from Suresh is, what is the underlying LLM? That's a good question. Right now we are using O3, I think O3 Mini and O3 Mini from OpenAI, but we are compatible with almost all LLMs. But as per our minimum requirement, we would want the models to be more what do you say more reasoning models. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So you can sign up and experience for yourself and try all kinds of questions by yourself. A question from Arush is that can Turno AI be used for educational purposes, specifically for students who want to be data scientists in future? Of course. So this is something that we are also doing very, very, very frequently. So the way people do is that, right, there are new ways of teaching things, right? Like, for example, for example, new tools is there, so you need to utilize the tool to teach anybody, right? Like for example, in most of the exams, calculator is allowed now, right? So similarly, we should teach using data science using Turno. We have already started that as part of CloudX Lab. So the way we do is that you take a problem statement, ask Turno to solve it, and then observe what exactly the Turno is doing, and then you basically start nudging it the way you want it, and that way you get to learn a lot about the data science in general. So yes, it can be used for learning data sciences, and and it does a pretty good job there. A question is, but when we use Turno AI, isn't it would be feedback to your model even on local data? No, we don't. We don't. Your local knowledge, whatever Turno gathers, that local knowledge is separated to your instance. It doesn't come to us. Okay, we will not be using it as part of our agreement with every organization. Okay. How do you maintain the consistency of the output when you are using LLM? Usually, LLM responses are not identical when same query is executed twice. That's right. That's right. That's why what we do is that's why what we do is that the there is a basically a lot of work goes in fine tuning an LLM for your organization. So for your organization, we take all the queries, questions that we have been done in past and let LLM learn from it. So after a while, it comes up with very good knowledge. And when you are, and also in the beginning itself, when we work with large organization, we have the design time whereby we build, let's say, 20 test cases, and we keep on fine-tuning the prompt, fine-tuning the organizational prompt until we get perfect for those 20 test cases. Okay, so that's how we do that. That's how it basically works. Okay, and that's the important part, and we have been working on making that consistent. So it's a difficult question, but we probably our results have been extremely consistent, and we are working on multiple levels on that. The first one that I just now described was that we maintain test cases for every organization, or during implementation time, we build these test cases, and then these test cases run against your database very quickly, and then check whether those test cases are all passing. Okay, between the two calls to LLM, the answer might differ, but there can be multiple answers to the same question. Okay, so that's an important part that we've done. So LLMs are probabilistic in nature, and that's what we are doing. That's what we are doing. We're utilizing that knowledge of probabilities that LLM has built in order to get the work done, by the way of building a verification step, by the way of building hard test cases. We have a hard test cases in the sense that when LLM does something, it executes a code. If the code is wrong, it will correct that code, and so on. So it basically we make it self-correct. We make it give it a verification step so that we can give it a feedback in real time, and that's how we tame the animal called LLM in order to get the work done. Okay, very good questions. Do you use RAG embedding to store data from data sources? Not really, not really. We do not. We have a very different strategy. Okay, so we do RAG embeddings only for very few things. Okay, because you cannot you cannot give answers on relational data just based on rank. For example, if you have a database table and you want to plot a nice chart about, you know, the what is the average a like let's say what is the average revenue that you got per customer over the years. This kind of question cannot be answered by a RAG-based system. RAG-based systems, the way they work is that you have a question, you match with the subsection of the data, attach the two, generate the answer, right? So basically that's the answer, that's the idea. So RAG doesn't work on data. RAG is good for text when you have PDFs and so on, and you want to just generate an answer, it's good. But when you are generating numerical values, it won't work. On numeric data, on data such as databases, it wouldn't make any sense. A question from Arun is it uses RAG or CAG concept? It is basically um, we call it chain of thought. Chain of thought combined with a sandbox environment whereby it runs the Python code. That's how it works. Okay. A question from right, but isn't the desktop version coming would be fully local? No, the desktop version, when we say desktop version, means the execution environment where it'll run the code, it'll code and it'll save your file, all of that will become local to your computer. Okay, it would still use the LLM. Our LLM, we will have our own LLM fine-tuned for such use cases. It will only interact with our LLM, whereby it will only send the metadata, not your data. So the desktop version will be the case where it'll run the code, everything inside on at your desktop rather than on Turno AI. Okay. A question from Suresh is, apart from ad hoc queries on my database, is Turno bringing capabilities like Power BI? Yes, that's a very interesting question, Suresh. So what we are doing is we are building something called app services. If you look at my screen, I'll just show you something. Okay, so once you are done, let's say show me purchases made by customers in Canada. Oh, it's not yet up here. It's on Turno app. We have a test environment. Okay, so this is not something for you. This is only basically for internal testing. Okay, so here right? You don't have to go here. This is just for me. You can see that this is something called basically the analytics. Okay, so here when we do something, okay, um, right? So when we do something or finish something, we can ask it to create an app service. Okay, we can ask it to create an app service, and I just now did something, right? Yeah. So as soon as it finishes the work, it will ask you to create an app service, and then you can basically just launch that app service without having to do any like having to do run the LLM again. Okay, so it becomes just like it becomes just like your Power BI or anything. So you spend time in building the app, right? You let her know build the entire thing. Once you get good results, you basically create an app, ask it to create an app. It will package everything into an app and then host it locally, and then you can start using that. So you don't have to essentially build the entire thing again and again. I hope that makes sense, Suresh. So yeah, go ahead, Suresh. Uh, okay, let me read your question. Yes, it will be published like a dashboard. Yeah, it'll publish like a dashboard and basically it'll be updated automatically. So that's the whole idea. Okay. A question from Aruna is, can it be used to pull up all sorts of data or are there any exceptions? It can be used for anything. It can be used for your custom services. It can be used. Okay. Yeah. A question from Anum is, will there be a fees to use it? Yes, of course, we have to pay for OPDI, so we have the fees. Fees is listed on Turno AI's page, so you can take a look. All right, now is the time for the demo. Okay. So first is by Glenn. Glenn, you want to share? I'll stop sharing my screen. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sandeep, for the wonderful explanation about Terno. So we'll just look at what I'll present a practical case study that demonstrates the power and usability of Terno AI. To illustrate its capabilities, I'll walk through a real project or a real chat that we conducted using the big basket product dataset, right? Uh, I hope my screen is shared.
No, Glenn, it's not shared yet.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, uh, okay. I wanted to create a product recommendation system, right? So that was from the big basket product dataset. So presented entirely, right? So uh, I gave a prompt just like a normal without a technical knowledge. I wanted to create a product recommendation system, right? So I didn't even provide the dataset. I just provided the uh, address of the dataset, as you can see my highlight. So I also attached the JSON, right? The list of features, merge CSV, and I sort of gave 4 to 5 tasks for it to do it. So as Sandeep explained, the chain of thought, right? It explained what it is doing first. It installed the Kaggle CLI and download and unzip the dataset from and uploaded it into the sandbox, read all the JSON files, flattened and merged them. So it gave the example explanation on what it is doing, right? So it, when it isn't successful in doing it, it reiterates and tries to do it again until it's successful. So right, and it was successful in downloading the dataset and uh, sort of extract the uh, data from the given Kaggle URL. So it explained me what the URL contained. It located the file, read its sheets, sort of selected, renamed, and understood the schema of the dataset, and saved the merge CSV and displayed it first uh, rows. So if you can see the screen, it gave me a basic overview of what the dataset contained, right? Categories, subcategories, subcategories, the link of the product, EAN code, image link, brand, SKU name, SKU size, right? So it sort of created me a basic EDA process, as in technical terms. It gave me the overview of the data set that I wanted to do it. Right? It previewed my data set. It loaded the data set, and it made me to easily verify the columns, inspect rows. It also explained me the it also summarized the data set, right? It explained me the abbreviations of the fields in the uh, further responses, and gave me some statistical uh, useful statistics like price distribution, minimum, maximum, median, MRP, right? So it gave me all the basic idea that I need to know about the data. Next is I asked it to handle the missing and duplicate values, which is one of the pre-processing steps that we follow. So again, it followed the chain of thought. It explained what it is gonna do, and it did it. So it it was pretty fast with the responses, and it gave us the overview of what it did in the previous from the previous prompt that was given. Uh, Next, I wanted to build an interactive dashboard. I wanted to build an interactive dashboard on the explore given the data set, right? For business users, we want what we see is what we believe, right? So visualizations come into play. So I asked Turno to build an interactive dashboard, which it built using Plotly, right? Focused on four questions, major questions that uh, it perceived by itself. Which categories have the most products? Which subcategories dominate overall? What are the top 10 brands by product count and distribution of MRP price? So you need not even give what you want. It sort of basically understands through a business perspective on what you want or what you would like to see. And it visualized it very beautifully for us to sort of understand the visuals, the data in the visual format. So I was curious, so I went to do further analysis. I wanted more detailed analysis. It computed the mean, median, mode, min, max, and subcategory, highlighted the most expensive ones as well. And the actionable insights help us to category managers to spot high value product segments quickly. Uh, it sort of gave me highest
So there is a question, Glenn,
productivity.
that how
Yeah,
is it interactive? You can actually just open that in a full screen, then right, in a full
yeah.
screen. Not that inside that. Yeah, inside. Yeah, open that.
So
Open
I
that.
can just
Yeah, you can
see.
see when you take the cursor, it shows you the things. Okay, you can interact with it. There are the top. There are ways to display things. Okay. So it's actually unlike the static image, you can see that when you zoom it, it is responsive. When you take the cursor on it, you can see that you can interact with the data, right? I hope that answers Suresh's question. Okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead. Glenn.
Right. I hope that answered the question. Right. So uh, again, I wanted to deep dive it. Gave me the recommendations. The core feature of this was the recommendations. Turno built a sophisticated engine using TF-IDF recommendation and cosine similarity. For any product, I can get five most similar items based on the name, brand, and description. Right. Instantly. Right. You see the example where mosquito repellents were highly relevant in the similar suggestions. So if I scroll down, uh, so good night, gold flash liquid vaporizer, mosquito repellent where was the top five recommendations based on the given data set, right? So further, I wanted to analyze more. I create, I gave a simple command, simple prompt like create a cluster plot of products based on the similarity and give me a clean and clear plot, right? Clean and clear plot. So it was. It projected the products into two dimensions, clustered them using k-means, and produced fully interactive cluster plot, as Sandeep explained a while ago. So making it easier to understand the catalog diversity. Right? It's and spot natural groupings or gaps in the data. Right. So in conclusion,
Can you
Turno
can
AI
you
is
can you take can you take the full screen for this one?
yep.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Also make it a full screen on your desktop. On your desktop.
Yep, give me a sec.
Chrome. Yeah. Yeah. Now
So the
take the cursor to each cluster. Let's see. So here is queue name. Okay, let's just take slow. Let's read one at a time.
correct.
Okay. Yeah. So it says that the makeup revolution, right? David Beckham, Beyond Man, right? Take to another one. So these products should be identical nearby. This is vermicelli rice, jelly, party mix. So it kind of has grouped these things together based on some criteria. Okay. And so on. Okay. All right. Is it based on price or what is the basis for uh, this presentation? Yeah, I think
It,
the hair mask and other things, the wearables are above, edibles are below. So it has basically grouped the things based on that. Yeah, you can see that those are hair related product,
the
right?
beauty products are clustered together.
Oh, beauty
The
products are
edible products,
clustered together. Okay.
the
Oh,
edible products are clustered together.
I see.
Similarly, it made the different clusters.
I see. I see. Wonderful. This is very useful. Okay. This is something that most of the existing tools cannot uh, achieve. A question from Anum is, how could we know that the information we are getting are 100% accurate? Because this information is coming after running the code on your data. So if let's say when the LLM hallucinates, LLM will hallucinate in writing the code, and the code will be wrong. And if the code is wrong, you won't get results. You'll get the mistake in terms of syntax error or library missing or other things. But there's a very low chance that it'll hallucinate and say that these are something. Okay. And we also make sure that part. Yeah, can you show the code, please? Yeah,
So
here this is the Python code, and this also answers another question that was there, that can it be used for learning data science? Yes. The reason we are keeping the code transparent to everyone is to make sure that they know what's going on, they can learn what's going on, and so on. All right. Very good questions. Thank you, Anu. Let's go ahead, Glenn.
yeah, that's all from me. So this was the basic product
Yeah,
recommendation.
a question from Anum is that can we modify the code? Answer is no, you can't directly edit the code, but you can tell LLM to do it for you. Okay? And yeah. Another question, very interesting question from Arun is that does it have guardrails? Of course. We have really hard guardrails. There are two kind of sandboxes environment that we have designed. One sandbox for running the Python code, and other sandbox or other firewall called SQL Shield for interacting with your database. While interacting with your database, we can define our own rules on top of your existing database. Okay, so that it protects the data from malicious queries, wrong queries, or mistaken queries. Okay, all right, go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, that's all from me. So I was able to build a product recommendation system, group into clusters with a simple command without any tech giving any technical aspects to the in the prompts. So it's very powerful that you can build recommendation systems without having to code and having the knowledge to do it by just giving some prompts. Yeah. So we can continue with the next. case study.
All right. Go ahead. Who is next? Share your screen.
Uh, Hi everyone. I'm Gajendra, part of the team building Turno, and I'll just walk you through the case study that I have prepared. Second. Yeah, are you able to see my screen?
A question from Anum is that can it also write the recommendation or report for us after analyzing? Well, yeah, of course. You can ask it to prepare a presentation, prepare a report of all the work, or you convert the whole thing into an app. It can do all of that. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. So for this use case, basically, I wanted to segment the customers that are arriving on my website. And basically, this is based on an FMCG data set, right? So I asked Terno to group the customers based on various uh, reasons, right? Like whether they are high spenders or if they're frequently looking for bargains or if they're loyal customers, and how much are they spending on average, and a few other insights. So, basically, the process is quite similar. It will start uploading the CSV file, right? Start understanding the data, and then it will start processing on your query, right? So over here, as you see, Turno starts to inspect the discount applied and promo code use fields to correctly flag discount usage per purchase, right? And it creates a code, runs a code, sees an observation, and then comes out with a thought whether it's able to meet the uh, like if it's able to solve the query, right? And it continues from there on. So over here in the next process, we see that it has it taken some customer metrics, and it has started to define and segment these customers on the basis of their spending and the frequency of their website visit, right? So it has segmented the customers into four groups. The new customers, high spenders, loyal customers, and bargain hunters. So, uh, and it has given us this concise summary about it, right? How many high spenders, the count of the high spenders, the average annual spend of this high customers, right? How many times are they visiting per year, and what categories are they searching for generally, right? Electronics, footwear, accessories. And it has also given us the marketing message, right? So when we want to target this groups separately, it has also told us how we can do that. So for this high spenders, there is exclusive VIP deals, right? And for the loyal customers, there are yeah, the message is thank you for your loyalty. Enjoy early access to new arrivals, right? And for bargain hunters, again, hot deals you don't want to miss. So it has given us this information, which was very useful. So I asked it to dig deeper into this segment and help me understand seasonal patterns, whether these customers shop differently throughout the year, right? How do they behave during the holidays or during the sale seasons, right? So again, Turno analyzes the data that we have given it, runs the code, observes it, and then gives us this information. Yeah. This is an interactive dashboard of how the customers are spending uh, during fall, during each season, right? Spring, summer, winters, and uh, yeah. So it okay. So I ask it to give me this into another visual, right? So in a proper detailed visual with the messaging, the top categories, the average visit, and then a pie chart of the same. So basically, you can ask Turno to give you visuals in any format that you want, right? And then you can download it easily. And this was what we wanted to show through this use case. Right. So basically, any FMC, if you're into, it's easy to do any analysis. You can do prediction, you can do segmentation, you can, uh, do forecasting. Everything that a normal data scientist can do, you can do it with Turno AI.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah. So that was from my end, and Tejvi, you can go ahead.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
thank you, Kalinda. Okay, so I'll share my screen and all right. Okay, so my screen is visible, right? So the use case I worked on is basically customer retention analytics. So basically what actually I wanted to know when the person will buy again. That's the problem, a simple problem statement. Okay, so we have a data of customers, and that data uh, have multiple columns, knowing their age, geographical region, purchase type, what item they have purchased, and many more things. So this is the kind of data set we I took into consideration. So we have different columns. So a lot of insight about the customer we have, and on the same we want to know when this person will purchase again. So we have its review, when they are purchasing, what color they are choosing, what sizes they are purchasing, and all. So we give this data to Turno, and simply I wanted to figure out what would be the perfect timing to reach out to these customers when they are ready to purchase. Okay, and I also wanted to know when how some people shop, every week or alternate week, every month, after few months. So all these things I wanted to know, and I wrote it in a prompt, and I asked Turno to do the analysis. So after that, it basically inspected district values, and it mapped frequency purchase to each category, and we got this detailed structure of these the data we have provided. So I wanted to know again. I wanted to check if Turno could give me based on the past shopping frequency, when will the each customer probably shop again, and are there any pattern? Do people like to buy again, who have bought in winter will buy again in spring? And I wanted shopping readiness score of each customer, and which customers are probably ready to buy right now, so we can reach out to them at this point of time, and who are those customers who will buy after a week, so or after a month. So accordingly we can plan campaign, email campaign, or accordingly we can also plan our inventory and all. So this is what I wanted to know. I gave the prompt, and it has given the next purchasing timings. And so the people who so based on the customers, it has given me like these customers will buy like in these days, less than 7 days we can contact those persons now, and after a week we can contact those people whose purchase like in between 8 to 14 days. And so these details it has given me. And now So this is the data is difficult to understand for me. So I just want to visualize it, like how many candidates are there who I should be reaching out now, or how many customers I'll reach out after a week. So this is basically I wanted to know. So I just asked to create a visual representation of the data, and it has given me the data in the visual form. So around 539 customers we can contact immediately, around 1000 candidates we can contact next week, and then 535 or 533 we can contact next month, and after a month we have called it later, there are 1700 candidates. Okay, so in average days and season, we have another visual representation of the same, and this is the readiness score, distribution of readiness score. Okay, so now I again wanted to know if can Turno tell me what factors makes customers to buy again. Is it their age? Is it how much money they have spent last time? How was how were their ratings? And so these are the few prompts I asked to know more about you know so I asked those, and it has given me top predictor of immediate readiness. So people who want to purchase now or within 7 days, what are the predictor top predictors are there, and in the end, feature importance expected is until the next purchase. Their spend is prior activities and satisfaction also play a major role in the feature importance analysis. So this all provided in detail and also in the visual representation form. And at the end, I ask to Turno to create a report, and it has given me a detailed report that you can see here. So that is all from my side. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. A question from Suresh is that in the current implementation, do you have a method to reuse a query previously? Yes, that's exactly what app service is, right, Suresh? That let's say you are finished, you got the result. Now what you can do is you can create an app with parameters, start date, end date, or something like that, and it'll be there. So you can select those parameters. All right. Yeah. I wish I would love to show you that part very soon, probably in next couple of weeks. So it's under building right now. We are working on that. Wonderful, wonderful. This was very helpful. Thank you for wonderful set of questions. Everyone, stay tuned with Turno, and you will be notified as soon as we are launching new feature. Okay, in the products. Yeah, go ahead. Somebody has raised the hand. Yeah, somebody has raised the hand. No? Just now. Yeah. Question is, who should you talk to? Just drop an email to probably reach us at turno.ai. Okay. Or right. One of my teammates can reach out to you. Gajendra can, Gajendra will be available. All right, Gajendra, you can reach out to Suresh. Okay. All right. All right. And wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful set of questions, wonderful demonstrations, and we are looking forward to hear from you. Please go ahead, everyone, on Turno website. Go to turno.ai and sign up. You'll get the free one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Kajinder, you can share your number as well with Suresh. And yeah, there is one more demo pending from Rohan. Rohan, please go ahead. Sorry about. I thought that all are over. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, it's completely okay. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Rohan Das, and first of all, thank you everyone. You are being with us till now. I think this is too late, and I hope that this is inspiring and more attractive. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So my use case is the forecasting sales, right? So the problem statement I was looking into is that FMCG companies needs to understand the patterns of sales, right? Because they have to get their productions and inventory, all of those plannings, right? So we are having the historical sales, okay, from 2022 to 2024, and we are looking into the key sales drivers, which is channels, regions, categories, promotions, and all of these things, and we are forecasting the future demand of that productions. We are doing it for 6 months of the future, and aligning also the we are also aligning the marketing strategies with this, okay, so we can target all of those required things in FMCG. So for the approach, I am using the data standard, the data approach, that we are first of all preparing the data. We are removing the negatives and all, handling the missing data, and do a exploratory data analysis, looking into the trends. Okay, and then we are doing this forecasting for weekly sales, and we are doing it for 6 months ahead. Also, we are getting the recommendation and insights from Turno. So let's see it in action. Okay, so we have already done it, and I'm just letting you go through it. Okay, so my prompt was this, and I have also uploaded data set, okay, with attached to this prompt. So the prompt was, I need to sales do the sales forecasting for a FMCG company, and our goal is to getting the better understanding of the sales pattern. Okay, so I have told him that I have attached this data set, okay, which is in CSV format, and I need we have this all the columns, and I need you to think of a data scientist and do all of these things to get forecasting. Okay, so it came up with the thought of uh, getting the CSV loaded and looking into it. Okay, so it wrote this code to get the shape of the data, get the information of the data, and first 5 rows of the data. And we can see here the observation. Okay, so the shape of the data is something 1,90,757 of the instances and 14 columns, and these are all the information of the data, that these are the columns and these are the instances of each column. Okay, and there is no not null in everything, so there is no missing data. Then we are having the first 5 rows of the data. Okay, then it came up with the whole approach, so whole planning of this, how we will do that. Okay, you can see in the prompt I have never told him to do that, and it still came up with this. So that's why we are calling it a AI data scientist, because it things of a AI data scientist, like. Okay, so that approach it came up with is getting the data clean. Okay, remove the duplicates and basic outliers and all of the things, then doing the exploratory data analysis. Okay, it will do the summary of statistics, which is mean, median, and quantiles. Also for the different columns, it thinking of, and then plot the time series data, okay, according to the daily and weekly, break down into sale channels, regions and categories and promotional flags, and look for a correlation between them. Also, it will do the feature engineering for this, and then it came up with the model for the forecasting. So it is thinking of Sarima and Profit for the machine learning regressor, and will train and evaluate it, and then it will give the forecasting of the data. So it wrote the code for the first step. It begins with the sum of the data, okay, and some of the missing values, all of those things. We can see it in the observation. As we know already, we have not any missing data, okay, and no number of duplicate rows also, okay. And but it can analyze that here are some negative, okay, data points. So it came up with this, that it will remove the negative data points, likely be data errors, okay. So it write the code to remove the data negative data points from the data set. So after doing the processing, it came up with this, that rows removed due to negative are 3, okay, and then the clean data set having this shape, and we can see here the clean data set, okay. Okay, so it came up with all of these things, and then I have asked him to see into the second step, which is showing the graphs and all to give the EDA. Okay, so I asked him to do this on the clean data set, and I wanted to do the aggregate unit sold of the weekly basis and get a clear view of the sales trend. Also, I asked him to clearly get a a visualization of a line chart to see the trajectory of the sale. It came up with the code, and we can see here the graph, okay. This is the graph. It came up with this, and which is total weekly sale units, okay. And okay, this is the line chart for this. Then I asked him to dig deeper into the sales drives, okay. So we need to analyze the channels, regions, and categories. So I asked him to create a bar chart of each of them and show it to me. Also look into the promotionals, okay. So if the promotional flag is 0 or 1, we can look into it, that is it affecting to the sales or not, okay. So it came up with all of these things, all of these beautiful charts, that by the region we are getting this much of the sales, okay. By the category we are getting this much of the sales, and by the channels we are getting this. Also from the promotional side, we are having this much of sales when there is no promotions, and this much of sales when there is promotion. And we can see clearly that promotions helps into sales, which is normally a sign, right? Okay, so it clearly says that I have added this all these things, and you can show it here. After that, I asked him to look into this, and similar heights, okay. So because of the data, all of those are similar height. I wanted to have the written over the chart that how much it is, okay. So we can look into it, and okay, I have zoomed it. Let me do it rescale, okay. So it just labeled all of these bar charts for me, okay. Yeah, and then I came up with the next step, which is forecasting, okay. So I want to have a time series forecasting for this. So I asked him to build a model over it on the clean data set, and basically prepare the data set and do all of those things to get the forecasting. And please, I have asked him to please choose a robust model like Prophet or Sarima. It will only use according to its understanding of the data, okay. And I asked him to get this for the next 6 months, and also forecast, visualize the forecasting of the each weekly sales into one chart, okay. The historical sale, also the forecasted sales, and also asked him to get the confidence interval, okay. So it came up with all of these codes, use the profit model, okay. It installs it because we do not have it pre-installed, so install it and then do all sort of things, and it takes some times, but it came up with this. And here you can see that this is the forecasted sale, okay. If I show you, this is the forecasted sale, this is the blue line, okay, and this is the historical sale. So this much was the historical sale, but we came up with this 6 month of the historical sale. Also we have the what we say, the the upper and lower boundary of it, how much it can go upper of it and how much it can go lower of it. It is forecasted all of these things with for us. Okay, and the forecasted the confidence is 95%, which is really good for something like happening autonomously. Okay, then I started asking him for the categories and all of the reasons, so that it can give the more forecasting over the categories and reasons on all of this. So it came up with all of these things. Okay, this is weekly sales for yogurt. Okay, this is weekly sales for the region PL South. This is the weekly sales of milk, weekly sales of ready meal, weekly sales of the region PL North. And then I asked him to, give this, explain me the PL North, and it came up with all of these explanations that what is shown in this graph and why the graph is, having all of these curves and all of these things. So it explained me beautifully all of the things which is shown in this graph. Then I finally came up with the summarization. Okay, so I asked him to give me key takeaways, seasonal patterns and actionable recommendations, inventory and production planning, all of those things. Okay, and it came up with all of these things, that key takeaways are strong overall growth. Okay, and top categories which are which we are having. Okay, top regions and all of these things. Then seasonal pattern, that just notice that every spring and the holiday season, which is late November and December, it shows the peak, right? And also give us the actionable recommendation. So it came up with the recommendation itself, that inventory and production planning, you can do the yogurt and milk for 2 months of April and May, because it's the peak, right, in the quarter 2. Okay, and then resource allocation and promotional strategies, all of those things it came up with itself. Okay, so this was it, and we can definitely have a better model, but this is the small experimentation and to show you that what is the power of Turno AI and what it can do for you. This is not only for the analytics, but you can also do the predictive analytics with this. Okay.
Wonderful. 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 A question from Arun is, one bottleneck with LLM is its cost per token consumption. Does Turno, right? And does Turno already optimize accordingly, or user have to take care of? Yes. So basically, yeah. So the way we work upon is that when you are using ChatGPT, for example, and you are uploading a file, that file is counted in tokens. That is an important part to know. In our case, that file is not counted in tokens, so that's a big difference. Second, when it comes to the prompt, I think it is important to give detailed prompt and proper prompts. Okay, instead of thinking about money. And the way we propose is that it's like the whole report that Rohan has prepared must have consumed hardly $1 or $2 maximum. Okay, so it's not that costly either. If you think about the same work, if you give it to a data scientist, right, it would take probably maybe say 1 month to get that work done. And 1 month of cost of data scientist would be how much? Probably minimum of $30,000. Okay, and therefore you save like $2 versus $30,000. Okay, and yeah, so I think the cost is not that high. Okay. A question from Anum is, will it recommend whether we can use other graph that would be attractive or interactive rather than one we have given in the our prompt? Yeah, you can tell it that prepare the graph according to the data, and it'll figure out the best one that suits yours. Okay. Yeah, one analogy is that the smartphone is extremely smart, but it consumes very high battery. Then it is it. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So With respect to the token consumption, the Turno is pretty cheap as compared to a team of right data scientists. Okay, and here the focus always is on accuracy, right? The cost is any day cheaper than all the softwares combined. If you take a look at how much people pay for very the BI tools, you will know that Turno will always be cheaper than all of those. Okay, so very good point, Arun. Thank you. And very good point, Anu. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful set of questions. Any other questions we would love to answer? Thank you, Gajendra, Rohan, Tejveer, and Glenn for good demonstrations. And all right, I'm looking forward to see you all using Turno, and feel free to share your case studies and whatever you are building. And yeah. A question from Arun is your view on agentic RAG or CAG? Yeah, I think those are just the tools to solve problems, and whatever works, well, you should use that. So whether agentic RAG or I don't know what is CAG. What's the full form of CAG? Context aware generation, is it? Context, yeah. Cause yeah. So I think yeah, mm, those are basically I would say this that use like test out all the approaches to solve your problem. Whatever works. As simple as that. Okay. All right. That will be my take on most of these things. All right. Wonderful set of questions, everyone. I'm looking forward to see you guys and have a good. A question from Anum is, won't this be a risk for a data scientist job? No, not really. You will see that the data scientists who understand the analytics, who understand models, they would become 10 times more performant. In today's world, there's a lack of data scientists, right? And essentially, if you go to, say, a company, FMCG company, most of our customers, right? None of them have been able to, like, these are rich companies, they have billions of dollars of revenue, but they have not been able to retain or hire data scientists in general. And the reason is that the doing the data science job is a costly affair, and it requires a lot of knowledge, and therefore we are essentially making the data scientist much more powerful. Like you take the analogy like if when earlier when there was no motor vehicle, people were pulling the cart manually, right? And now those people who were pulling the cart manually, when they were given the cars to drive, they started becoming very good to drivers, right? Similarly, the data scientists, those who were writing code by themselves, now they would be using a tool like Terno to become 10x in their job, or maybe 100x in their job. Okay. So essentially, it's about empowering the industry. It's about empowering the data scientist. It's about empowering the companies to do operation excellence, to build better products, to build products faster, and reduce the cost of the products. So that's the whole idea. And yes. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.